Welcome to Miss Martin's IGCSE History Exam Tips. This series of videos will be a short look at the individual questions in both Paper 1 and Paper 2 and give you a quick idea of what you should do when answering these questions in the exam. Before diving into the individual question highlighted in this video, what should you be bringing into your exam? Well, the first thing in your pencil case should be a pen, along with a couple of spares. I would recommend that these are black rather than blue, as they are much clearer when they are scanned in for an examiner. Also, make sure your pen is not erasable. That's not allowed. If you're more comfortable annotating with a pencil, bring one of those in. There's nothing to say that you can't annotate in a pencil. And I would also bring a selection of highlighters so you can highlight your sources, break down the question, and make things a lot clearer and easier for you when you are answering your different questions. In this video, we will be having a look at a Part A question on Paper 1. In a Part A question, you will be asked to talk about the impression of the author from a source. This may relate to a cause, event itself, consequence, relationship, or even a time period of the topic that you are studying. On the screen, you can see a Part A question from Paper 1. Now, this particular question has come from the Germany topic of the paper, which I teach, but the French Revolution, unification of Italy, colonial rule and nationalist challenge in India, dictatorship and conflict in the USSR, a well-divided superpower relations, the Cold War, civil rights in the USA and South Africa also have this style of question. Remember that you will need to answer 2 Part A's on 2 different topics. What is the first thing you should do before putting pen to paper and answering your Part A question? Well, that's easy. You need to read the question and find out what it's asking you. So in the example we have on the screen, it is asking what impression the author gives about the impact of proportional representation on Germany. Here you can underline, highlight, annotate your question to find out exactly what the question is asking you before you even go in to read the source. Now you've read the question and you know what you're looking for, you can read the source once or even better twice, annotating it with what you can learn about the focus of the question. So in the example we have on the screen, the question is asking about the impact of proportional representation on Germany, and that is what we will be looking and focusing on when we read the source. Now you may feel, Miss, this is a waste of time, but this is planning and structuring your answer without actually writing out a plan. Once you know what the source is telling you about the focus of the question, you can then go back in and highlight key words and phrases which show you the language and the tone of the author. This is what's going to unlock the higher marks, so it's really crucial. Now that you have finished planning your answer through the annotation of the source, it's time to begin writing. The best way to start a Part A question is through an inference. Here you say what you have learned about the focus of the question from the source. So, in the case of the example that we had earlier, you would talk about the impact of proportional representation on Germany. Then you can begin to explain the impression of the author, making sure you are specific with your language. Try not to use terms like a positive impression or a negative impression. It's too vague. You want to be much more descriptive, so using words like harsh, complimentary, those sorts of terms. Here, you can also look at the tone and the language of the author to support your impression. Most importantly, though, you do need to use the source as evidence. It is a piece of text, so it's perfect for quotations, pulling out words and different phrases. By using evidence from the source, it secures your explanation. This question is worth 6 marks, so I would recommend spending about 9 minutes on this question. I would break that down into 3 minutes for the planning and 6 minutes for the writing. You only need to write 1 point, evidence, explain, link, paragraph, so 6 minutes should be plenty of time. I hope this video has been a nice and quick little refresher for you of how to answer a Part A question on your Paper 1 exam. Remember that you will need to do 2 Part A questions for 2 different topics, and there will be more videos coming up of the rest of the questions of Paper 1 as well as the questions on Paper 2. Good luck in your revision.